Thank you for tuning in to episode 10 of the More Than Capable Mompreneur podcast. This is the third episode of the series to help you successfully partner with a virtual assistant. In episode 8, I debunked 3 myths you may have heard when it comes to hiring a virtual assistant or a VA. I also share some tips to help you honestly assess whether or not you're actually ready to hire, and gave you a few strategies to help you save time and get work done as a busy mompreneur. Now, in episode 9, I shared 3 common mistakes that you should avoid when you move forward with hiring a VA to save yourself time, money, and frustration. And in this episode, I'm going to share 3 things that you can do to successfully work with a virtual assistant so you can grow your business together. So let's dive right in. Hey there, mama. Are you burned out from working, running a business, and raising a family? I know it's hard and there's no manual to help you get it all done without the mom guilt. I've been where you are, and I want us to navigate this journey together. I'm Shannon Baker, your coffee-loving host, and I'd like to welcome you to the More Than Capable Mompreneur podcast. We're part of a new wave of working women that focus on fulfilling our purpose and raising our families before profit. It's time we stop letting fear hold us back and accept that we are enough and we do enough. This podcast will feature interviews, trainings, practical lifestyle tips and strategies you can implement in the mom cracks of time so you can take care of the necessary things and grow your business without burning out. So grab your cup of coffee, your favorite sparkling water, or pour a glass of your favorite wine, and let's get on with the show because we are more than capable mompreneurs. So you're ready to hire a virtual assistant. That is awesome because there are so many benefits associated with this strategic move. Not only does this include higher levels of productivity because 2 pairs of hands are better than 1, but you'll have someone to bounce ideas off of, and you'll have time to focus on your business's core money-making activities. Money, 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 money. Now, however, to experience these benefits, you need to maintain a good relationship with your virtual assistant after they're hired. Now, in episode 8, I debunked 3 myths out there when it comes to hiring a VA, and I outlined the 6 basic systems every business needs in place. And in episode 9, I talked about 3 mistakes you don't want to make when you hire a virtual assistant. If you haven't already listened to those episodes, don't worry. Be sure to go back and check them out as episodes 8, 9, and 10 are part of a series. I'll include a link to the other 2 episodes in the show notes. Now, full disclosure, hiring a virtual assistant is not going to save you from being consumed by your business if your back office is in chaos because you don't have any systems in place. You know this all too well if you've already hired a virtual assistant and you failed. And here's why. The key to working with a virtual assistant successfully is identifying what your needs are before you hire. There's a process for all of this, of course. Mastering the art of delegation will ensure that when you take the time to hire a virtual assistant, it will be a long-term solution leading to success. But are you and your business really ready for a VA? Here's what I mean. When I started my business as a virtual assistant, I experienced 3 common problems. 1, some of my customers viewed my services as an expense instead of an investment, so it wasn't valued as it should have been. 2, some were not ready to give up control of the tasks they delegated, and then others abdicated their responsibility once they delegated. Then 3, most of them operated without documented processes, which would have eliminated some of the trial and error issues that we had to work through. So the first thing you need to do to help the partnership between you and your VA develop is, number 1, view the partnership as an investment. A virtual assistant is not an expense. Business expenses are the cost of doing business. The monthly fees that you pay for marketing tools, scheduling apps, and the other tools that you use in your business. Hiring a virtual assistant is a business investment. So you need to look at how your business will benefit when you make that investment. So don't just think about handing off tasks that you don't want to do, but think about how much time you'll have in your schedule when you delegate those associated tasks. So ask yourself these questions. How will your business benefit if you have time to be more responsive to existing customers and to nurture new leads? How will your business benefit because you have time to do more networking? What other things can you do to increase your visibility and strengthen your community if you have more time? So the bottom line, when you make the investment and hire a virtual assistant, you should become more efficient at using your time and money, offer better quality products and services, and you should be able to enjoy life while your business grows. Now, tip number 2, build your relationship on trust. Don't micromanage. When you trust someone, you show that you believe they're going to do what they say. And this level of confidence comes from experience. Generally, you've taken a risk, things turned out well, you took another risk, and the cycle continued, right? Well, the relationship that you develop with your virtual assistant is not any different than that. If both of you have clearly communicated your expectations to each other and set the parameters for your project, then you need to give them space to do their work. Now, if you need to get used to delegating tasks, please start with small things and then work your way up to big tasks. Remember, your VA owns a business too. So what would they gain if they never completed tasks on time and their clients were never satisfied with their work? They wouldn't be in business very long. So part of this process is trusting that the work is being completed. Now, if you establish a timeline up front and then you discuss those tasks with your virtual assistant, you should be able to determine the amount of time that it's going to take for them to complete a task. It's a mutual agreement. This is the perfect time to develop those check-in points, especially when it's a new working relationship or even when it's a new task, which is why I recommend those weekly check-in calls of 15 to 30 minutes so that both of you can be on the same page. I talked about this in detail in episode 9. These calls allow both of you to discuss the issues that may have come up. You can verify the direction the task is moving in, and even if you need to cancel the task because it's not going to produce the results that you wanted. But this process needs to be repeated with everything that you delegate, and that way that working relationship between you and your virtual assistant will develop. Most importantly, though, it puts your mind at ease and you can focus on your work and not on the work that you delegated. The point of hiring the virtual assistant was to save you time, not to add to your workload because you keep checking on them, because you've given them a task and you're just not sure that they can do it right. Now, if you find that that's what you constantly have to do, then you need to reevaluate your relationship and probably even consider getting a new virtual assistant. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't going to be learning curves in this process, but you have to show trust and not second guess your virtual assistant without reason. Over time, you'll get the results that you want, and if it meets or exceeds your expectations, letting go will only get easier. Now, if that learning curve never disappears, then you definitely need to find someone else to work with. So, just how much time should you give this process? Well, honestly, I recommend 90 days, and I talk about this in detail in episode 9 as well. Now for tip number 3. Give honest feedback and recognize them for their work. I mean, how do you feel when someone tells you you did a good job? Do you light up, especially when your customers send you a nice thank you note that includes a Starbucks gift card? Well, I know I love those kind of thank yous. And in case you didn't know, I absolutely love coffee. And I'm an Enneagram 1 with a wing 3. So I really kind of need to hear the accolades. But let's be honest, who doesn't? Well, your VA is no different. If they're happy and you treat them well, they will do a good job for you. They want to be respected and valued for their contribution to your business's success. When they do, you will see them become invested in your business, and they'll start to look for ways that they can help you grow even faster, with their help, of course. Feedback is really important because not speaking up can be detrimental. We naturally assume that a task is done correctly and has met someone's expectations unless they tell us otherwise. So, offer constructive criticism when you need to. And by constructive, I don't mean nitpick because they didn't do something exactly the way that you would. Keep in mind that we all work differently. So if they're following your process pretty closely and you're getting the results you want, it's not about all the steps that they took to get there, but that you got the results that you expected. Your virtual assistant isn't you, so they're not going to do things exactly the way that you do. Actually, it may be a good thing that someone new is working on tasks for you that you've been doing for a while, because they may see ways that you can make the process more efficient and get the same results, or even get you better results. After all, if you could do it all yourself, you wouldn't have hired them in the first place. So, before you give feedback, ask yourself, did they really do it incorrectly just because you wouldn't do it that way? And if your answer is no, then let it go and focus on other things that require your attention. Now, if something needs to be corrected, lead with the good things that they did first. Then highlight the areas that need some attention and work out how you would like it updated. So, are you ready to hire that virtual assistant? Well, let's review the 3 tips that will help you work with them successfully. 1, view the partnership as an investment for your business growth, not an expense. 2, let the relationship and trust between you and your virtual assistant grow by giving them room to do their work, so you won't micromanage them, but you'll have open and regular communication so that you can get comfortable with someone else handling tasks for you out of sight. And number 3, show appreciation for their good work and give honest feedback so that you can make sure your expectations are met. Now, I hope these 3 episodes in this series have educated you on the process of hiring and successfully working with a virtual assistant so that you can be successful and experience all of the benefits that come with it. Now, is your business really ready? Meaning, are your systems in place so that you can easily integrate a virtual assistant? If your answer is no and you need help to determine where to start, don't worry because I can help you with that. You can hop on a system strategy session with me. It's a 30-minute call via Zoom where I ask you some questions and help you identify the gaps in your business operations that are blocking your growth right now. Now, you can honestly try to do this on your own, but I know it can be frustrating and overwhelming, especially now because you're juggling a lot of balls. Working with me will help shorten the learning curve so that you can get your systems in place, decide if you even need to hire a virtual assistant, and then either way, you can use that extra time to focus on what matters most. So here's what happens on that call. We talk about why you started your business or why you're looking to grow your business, what it needs to support. Based on your responses, I identify 1 to 2 processes that you need to focus on right away. And I give you 2 to 3 things that you can do immediately to streamline the most important processes that you need so that you can reach your goal. And it's only $67. Now, be sure to click the link in the show notes to schedule your call and to listen to the other episodes in this series if you haven't listened yet. Now, I want to thank you for tuning into today's episode. And if you enjoyed these tips, please subscribe, share, and leave a review in iTunes. And if you learned something new in this episode or the other 2, please let me know. Take a screenshot and post it in Instagram stories and tag me at the More Than Capable Mompreneur. And remember, you are enough and you do enough. And until next time, keep calm and streamline.